Hello and welcome to Warframe. My name's Todd, also known as Mage Mech, and this is of course Warframe. Last time we started the Arcwing quest, talked a little bit about some of the stuff that happened in the past, such as TennoCon that just dropped, I think last week, and some of the cool stuff that you can get by linking your Twitch Prime account to your Warframe account, and just mainly giving a refresher to make sure that you're keeping up on the things that are happening, because you can get cool rewards for doing it. But honestly, aside from that, we're just going to jump straight into the Arcwing quest and head off from where we left off. We're going to keep getting the parts, keep trying to build them, and hopefully at some point we'll have our Ondata so we can be a winged death machine, as Ordis put it in the last part. Just more excavations. I don't believe the excavations get any harder than they were last time, so just one excavator and we're done. Should be able to knock two of those out relatively quickly.
An artifact has been located. Proceed to the dig site.
Thankfully nowhere near as difficult as that relic excavation mission. That really had me running for the hills there with so many extremists plus heavy units. But I think we do a good amount more damage than we used to as well, so all's fair, I guess.
Excavator is ready to go. Keep it powered and protected from enemy fire.
We will do our best to do just that, if we can. Run down. I'd really like to see a power carrier, but I'm not seeing any. Boy.
We need another power cell for the excavator.
Yeah, I don't see any power carriers. I'm not sure if they're just hiding. The Corpus one was very generous, but this time around they're not being so generous. Oh, there's a Grenier power carrier. And I think we might have... yeah, we knocked the energy cell down here. Perfect. So, I don't know if I really talked about it, but there are minor differences between the average Grenier troop and some of the other troops. So the two main troop types are Lancers and Troopers.
The scanner has picked up a target. Go to the dig site.
I believe that there's a similar difference in some of the Corpus units. I'm not sure what the Corpus units are referred to, but effectively there's a assault rifle unit and a shotgun unit. Of course, the shotgun units at this low level are not necessarily all that threatening, but at higher levels the shotgun units can be much more threatening than the assault rifle units. Not to say that the assault rifle units are, never really terrifying. If you're trying to regenerate your shields or trying to get back a little bit of health, the assault rifle units can be a major pain in the neck. But the shotgun units, such as the Troopers and whatever the Corpus version of them are called, tend to be very dangerous at higher levels because the amount of damage they do. I'm sure for most people that's unsurprising.
Find a cell.
But considering throughout most of the game you can kind of just run at people and not have to worry about it, the first time you walk into a level 50 mission and get hit by a Trooper in the face and go down instantly really sucks. Which I'm hoping won't happen to us, but it's hard to say whether or not it will or won't. I would definitely love to get more power cells, though. Let me grab this one, and how close are we to being done? Very close. Alright, I'm going to spend a little bit of energy to try and keep this thing alive. I thought I had more energy than that. I'm just going to have to tank these guys to hope that the excavator won't take that damage. Alright, fantastic.
You found an Arcwing part blueprint. Head to extraction when you are ready.
Not going to worry about going any farther, don't really see a good reason. We don't really need the cryotic right now, which is the resource that you get from excavations, and the rewards for this excavation in particular are not super great for the difficulty of it. Our weapons really aren't suited for it either. Alright. Man, they put this extraction quite far away, didn't they? Now, we started the, I believe it was the wings last time. This, I believe, is the harness for the Ondata. Hopefully we will be able to start it and the other part, which I believe is the, what is that? Chassis, maybe? Well, regardless, I hope we'll be able to start all of them so we can eventually build the Ondata as soon as we're able to. Having access to the Arcwing is not super critical, but it is kind of nice to have.
See the Arcwing soon.
And it will be critical for some missions later in the game, so it's good to have it as soon as you're able to get it. We don't have enough Morphics to be able to build it. That's a shame. Well, as soon as we get some more, we will start it so we can build the Ondata as fast as we are able to. In the meantime, though, we will head on to the next part of the mission, get the other blueprint, and once we have all three, then it won't be such a big issue to figure out what we need to build it from there. Plus, as we're making our way across Mars, it's very likely we'll get a lot of Morphics. Or is it Gallium that you get from Mars? Or is it both? I don't remember, but we'll check after this part. Just to take a look.
The scanner has picked up a target. Go to the dig site.
This room always gets me. Sometimes the objective can actually spawn behind you, and it always throws me off because I figure the way it's you start or spawn, that's the way you're supposed to go to when you start out. But Warframe does not subscribe to that same philosophy. Sometimes they'll put the objective directly behind where you spawn, and that can be a little confusing.
Excavator is ready to go. Keep it powered and protected from enemy fire.
So, just like with the Greenier and Corpus, there are power carriers with the Infested, though they are Mutalist Ospreys. Honestly, I think the Mutalist Ospreys are much more annoying because they move around a lot more
Find a cell.
and are a smaller target, but that's just personal opinion. One thing I could make a note of is in the excavation missions, you get rewards quite quickly, which, if you're attempting to get things like relics, for instance, that can be extremely beneficial. You can get rewards pretty much back-to-back very quickly if you have a well-coordinated team. You can complete digs very quickly by having enough
An artifact has been located. Proceed to the dig site.
people to kill power carriers, go around the map, and protect your excavators, making it far easier to get the rewards from said digs and expediting the whole process. And the rewards you get from digs can be relics and, you know, good mods and other things, meaning that if you're really trying to farm just rewards from missions on a specific planet, and doubly so if it's a relic from a specific planet that you're trying to farm, then the best way to do it is most certainly excavation. That doesn't necessarily mean that, you know, it has to be your favorite game type, but if you're just trying to be as efficient as possible, excavation is pretty efficient. The second I would probably say would be maybe extermination. Extermination is quite quick. That or capture. Capture is very, very quick. But overall, in endless type missions, excavation is most certainly the quickest. Probably followed by defense, if you have a good coordinated team. And then survival. And the only reason I state this is because survival tends to be the slowest due to the fact that you're purely on a time limit.
We need another power cell for the excavator.
There's nothing that can speed up a survival mission regardless of killing or otherwise. So you're pretty much set to, you'll get a reward every 5 minutes. Whereas with a coordinated team you can do an excavator in maybe a minute or less. And that's pretty impressive. Defense missions get
That's
rewards
it. You found an Arcwing part blueprint. Head to extraction when you are ready.
every 5 waves, but those waves can go very, very quick depending on if you have a coordinated enough team. Though I'm not certain. Maybe it is actually slower than survival. That would have to be really timed, but they're very close. Survival and defense are very close in the amount of time it takes to complete a round or set of waves. Whereas excavation, on the other hand, is always set to... If you can get enough power cells in that thing, each excavator will take about a minute at max. Maybe a minute and some change, really. And with the fact that you can have multiple excavators running at the same time, yeah, fairly quick. People may disagree with me on that, but overall that's just what I've seen from experience. If you're just going by yourself and you really want to just have quick missions that you run through like one after the other, capture is probably the best way to go, with elimination probably being behind that. Alright, so we've completed the 2 excavations we need for the parts for the Arcwing. Let's see, can we build the other part? We can build the other... Well, no we can't. We need more Morphics. So if we can get some more Morphics, we can build both of these parts. And that will get us one step closer to the Ondata. Let's see, so for Mars, what do we need? Okay, so we do get Morphics and we get Gallium. So as we're making our way across Mars, we'll hopefully get some more Morphics and Gallium and be able to build our Rhino Warframe and Ondata soon. So we need the Gallium to build the Rhino itself from Mars. Another Morphix so we can build the part, some Plastids from Phobos, and then once we've done with Phobos we can go over to the Void and get a control module. All of those parts should be relatively easy to get. Let me think. Alright, yeah, we can just keep going. We will have to put off the Arcwing quest until we're able to get enough parts, or get enough materials so we can build it. But we're going to make our way towards the Phobos Junction. Probably will not be able to complete the Phobos Junction in one go, but that's okay. We'll have to complete some more relics at some point, which I will show off I will show those as I'm doing them, just so you can see what rewards we're getting. Let's see, the Cephalon fragments I may or may not show depending on whether or not we're able to run into them. And defeat 150 enemies in a single mission should be relatively easy if we run into a defense. But let's just jump into Hellas and start making our way over across. We might even be able to just jump to Tharsis and Gravitas right away. If we could do that, that would be great. But let's just start. Might be more worth it to go across Ares, though, just so we can get towards the Ceres Junction as well, yeah. Either or. We'll get there eventually.
There is a large platoon of Grenier Marines stationed here. Leave no one standing.
So we'll probably only have enough time to complete this mission and maybe one more if we're extremely lucky, but mostly just this mission before we're done here. I'm hoping we'll get the parts the materials required to craft our Arcwing, so we'll be able to have our Arcwing next time around, but you never know. Or at the very least start crafting it next time around. So I will be spending a little bit of time looking around to see if I can't find some Morphix containers, since they are very worthwhile right now. If I can find some Gallium as well, that would be kind of nice. At least a piece or two of it. I don't know if I'll be that lucky, though. There are tons and tons of containers in Mars. And there are a special type of container that is extremely rare, which I will probably not find right now, which you can find on Mars, which gives you the ship piece. So you can start building another ship. But they're very, very rare, and you will probably not run into one right away. Will take you some time if you really wanted to do that. I think I've touched on building other ships before, but the parts are very, very hard to get. and are dropped in a very specific type of cache that you can only find on certain planets. Salvage, the compacted salvage crates like that, we haven't seen those before, but those are used in like just a ton of things. I think I just triggered a glitch. So those enemies were running towards the exit, and I believe that that's a glitch that can sometimes happen if you progress too quickly. What is down this hole? I have never seen a hole like this before. So this is a type of plant that you can scan. When you scan plants, ones that have names, it gives you said plant. It's akin to picking it. Say if you were, you know, looking for them as a resource, which may come up later. Ballista. I think I've talked about them before. They're Grineer sniper units. It seems like a sniper unit would be something rather terrifying, but honestly, never really been afraid of them. Don't think they've ever even really hit me. They're very terrible at what they do. Maybe that's just my good luck, but just never had a problem with them. Could also be because the weapon that they use is the Volker sniper rifle. Not a great sniper rifle in my opinion. Has a very slow reload time and doesn't do a great amount of damage. Sniper rifles in Warframe, I suppose I should touch on those real quick. They're kind of an odd subject. Oh, a Morphix container. Fantastic. So this is what a Morphix container looks like. We'll pop that one open, we get a Morphic, and we're good to go. So we got one Morphic. We can build at least one more part of the Ondata. I'm hoping to find one more of those. Not saying I'll be lucky enough to do so, at least not in this part, but we can hope, right? Back on the sniper rifles though. I'm pretty sure I've talked about them before, so I'm not going to go super in depth. But the some of them are really good, some of them really aren't. The Vectis is one that you'll never really go wrong with. The Lanka is another good sniper rifle that you'll never really go wrong with. And in this series, I may or may not really focus on sniping. I like using sniper rifles as a personal preference, but I believe that viewing it from like a video perspective may be really jarring. Just because a lot of the sniping in Warframe tends to be quick scoping. At least very similarly to it anyway. It's a lot of dipping in and out of your scope to be able to hit enemies, because you're moving around a lot and you're scoping in on enemies to get the bonuses that you can get from scoping in on enemies. So it's a lot of staring at guys really up close.
You have broken their ranks and they are on the run. Another successful mission. Find extraction. Which some people would find entertaining, I'm sure. A lot of people probably wouldn't find that entertaining. So I may refrain from it, I may not, depending on what I feel is best. I definitely won't be using them solely because of that very reason, though. I don't think it would make a very entertaining video. Just staring at a Grineer really up close. Alright, well that's the end of the mission. I was hoping to find another Morphix container, but it doesn't look like I'm going to. Let's see. And sadly that will almost round us off. So, next time we will continue our trek across Mars, trying to find more Morphix and and a piece of gallium. Hopefully so we can build not only the Ondata, but also Rhino down the road. And if I'm unable to get resources to progress, I will take time in between
episodes to farm said resources because I don't really want you guys to be sitting around staring at that. Let's build the systems for now. It's very boring to see somebody farm resources. It tends to be just sitting in a mission doing the same thing over and over again. Not to say that it's not fun on my end, but visually I just don't think it would be that entertaining. For when it comes to farming resources or mods, I'll probably just cut it out and tell you guys what I did, how I did it, and where I did it, just so you guys know. But I'm not going to leave that in because I don't find that visually impressive. Anyway, until next time, where we continue our trek across Mars, goodbye.